Foxx is very good because if you hit opponents with it off stage, they're forced to recover like that. It's very good to combo with. As you can see right there, being able to like wave that is when opponents get hit by it. What's up, gamers? Today is going to be the character guide for who I think is probably the coolest assaulter in the game. Definitely my favorite assaulter, Foxx No McCloud. And that's for you guys that probably play Smash or probably played Star Fox 64 or things like that. Foxx, in my opinion, is a really good character. He's not as good as he used to be after the nerfs. Like before the nerfs, this character is absolutely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure you saw my tier list. I put him like at top 3. Like original Foxx was absolutely broken, absolutely godlike. But now he's okay. He's okay. He's not broken. He's not godlike, but he's still good. So let's just hop right into Foxx's A moves. So Foxx's A moves aren't like grounded A moves aren't really too crazy. You won't really be using a lot of them. You'll only be using 2 because, like I said, Foxx is an assaulter, and that means he has grounded A moves that can be canceled out of. So let's just hop right into it. Foxx's jab is a multi-hit jab. Does 16, that's if you tap it. And if you hold it, you can get multiple punches. And as you can see, the combo counter is going up. That is because the practice bot does not DI. But if you're ever caught in Foxx's jab, just hold backwards, and that'll help you get out of the jab, so you're not stuck taking all those multi-hits that you probably have taken before. That'll basically do it for his jab. It's basically like a damage builder. Another good thing about his jab is a move that uses the scalpel. So as you can see, Sophia has like those red pills around her. That is Foxx's debuff, and that's basically like his main mechanic. And when we talk about his special moves, I will basically explain the part of this debuff and what that debuff actually means. But before we go into that, let's finish the rest of his grounded A moves. So that was Foxx's jab. Let me reset the bot for this one. This is Foxx's grounded attack. It's basically a double kick downwards. It's not safe on shield, and as you can see, it has some pretty long in lag, so it's not the safest move to throw out. It's very easy to whiff punish because Foxx takes a long time to do it. But like I said, Foxx is an assaulter, so this is actually one of Foxx's cancelable moves, and he can cancel it with jump. And just like all the other cancelable moves, you can cancel with jump. You can down tilt, hold back, and cancel it with a backwards jump. Or you can even down tilt and wave land out of it, as you can see right there. Very, very good for Foxx to have. The downside about this is like at those mid percentages, it basically stops comboing. I want to say like from 60, the only thing you'll be able to really get is like down tilt into forward air. And after like 80, I believe it stops true comboing for until like your opponent's like percentages reset. So basically like build Sophia up to 72. You still combo forward air. And this is without your opponent, yeah, like at 100, like from like the 90 to like 100 like percentile window. It basically stops comboing. I know it hit there, but that's because the training bots, they don't hold any direction when you're hitting them. So it basically makes a lot of combos easier to hit, and it makes a lot of combos true. So at lower percentages, because like I said, like mid percentages is like kind of stops comboing, but at lower percentages, you can do things like down tilt, down air. You can do things like down tilt, cancel into down tilt, into like down air or forward air. You can do things like down tilt into forward air. I didn't do my second forward air. You can even do things like down tilt. I didn't get my turnaround, but down tilt into back air, as you can see right there. Like I say, around this like 90 percentile window, it kind of like stops comboing. So you kind of like stop relying on down tilt after like around 90 or 80. But like at those lower percentages, it's very, very good to combo with, as you can see right there, being able to like wave dash out of it, do things like down tilt into dash attack, things like that. Being able to do things like at lower percentages, you can do things like I've been hit with, you can do like, I didn't wave dash cancel, down tilt. And so forward strong, you can do things like down tilt into grab, just things like that. So like the main benefit from Foxx's down tilt will be the waveland aspect that you can get from it. Very, very good for Foxx to have, and very good for Foxx to do. Kind of keeps your opponents on their toes, like being able to waveland out of his down tilt. And like basically like combo with it. So if you plan on playing Foxx, definitely recommend learning how to wave dash out of your cancels, because that's where you'll get like the benefit, like most of the benefit out of those lower percentage damage combos, because Foxx is a very hit for hit character, and the most time he gets like a long combo strings are lower percentages with down tilt, kind of like that. So that'll do it for down tilt. Let's talk about Foxx's dash attack. So Foxx's dash attack, because kind of like how I said, Foxx is an assaulter. Foxx has two cancelable moves. The first one is down tilt. The second one is dash attack. And just like down tilt, you can combo out of down tilt with jump. Well, just kind of how you combo out of down tilt with jump. You can combo out of dash attack with jump, as you can see right there. And just kind of like down tilt, Foxx's dash attack stops comboing at like mid to like mid percentages, but at lower percentages, you can do things like dash attack waveland into up tilt. You can do dash attack waveland into down tilt to like catch opponents at like lower percentages. And you can even do things like dash attack into jump side B to basically set off, set off Foxx's debuff so that you can combo with it. But once you get to those mid percentages, as you can see right there, down tilt stops combo. Well, not down tilt, but dash attack. I always say down tilt because I mainly use down tilt a lot. Don't really use dash attack a lot because, like I say, I want to say like around after like 40, it kind of stops comboing. I know at 72, it stops comboing. Yeah, you just kind of don't get the chance to get over there in time, but you can waveland out of it. And since you can waveland out of it, you can do things like reposition yourself and put yourself in a better position for a follow-up, even though you don't get like a true combo. You just kind of like put yourself in a better position to basically like be in an advantage or get like a follow-up after this move. That'll basically be it for Foxx's dash attack. So let's talk about Foxx's up attack. Foxx's up attack has a lot of range above him. This up attack is actually pretty crazy. It has a pretty long startup, and a lot of Foxx's moves have pretty long startup. And since those moves have pretty long startup, they're actually fairly safe. So let's just hop into it. It has a forward hitbox and a backwards hitbox. And all of these hitboxes knock your opponent in front of Foxx. The thing about this up tilt though is it has a tipper sweet spot. As you can see right there, the normal up tilt did 12 and the tipper sweet spot did 14. The tipper sweet spot is also, if I can get it, there we go, a kill move. And the tipper sweet spot is kind of like above Foxx's head. When you're aiming to hit this, you kind of like want to hit opponents with the tipper sweet spot. It doesn't combo or anything like that. Like if the soft spot like ever comboed into like the tipper sweet spot, that would be absolutely crazy. So it doesn't combo or doesn't lead to any combos. It just leads to pretty good situations for you to like aim for that tipper sweet spot. And that tipper sweet spot kills ridiculously early, as you've seen. Like I want to say it kills like around 70 maybe. And just being able to hit this consistently on your opponents as like a Foxx main is very, very good for like netting like really early kills. Sophia's at what, like 80? Yeah, and it killed at 80 because the tipper sweet spot launches straight up. As you can see from the red line, it doesn't matter which angle Sophia was holding. Foxx's tippers always knock in a specific angle in a specific direction, and it does not matter what your opponent is doing. So that'll do it for Foxx's up tilt. We talked about dash attack, down tilt, and jab. let's talk about Foxx's forward strong. So Foxx's forward strong is actually really strong. It has some really long startup, and since it has really long startup, this is the best thing about it, because since it has really long startup, it has very little ending length. Like, if your opponent wants to punish this move, they have to know you're going to throw this move out, see it coming, and then jump over and punish you. This move is really good, and it hits really hard. Does 20, as you can see right there, 20%, and has very good launch. And since it's a move that hits with the scalpel, kind of like his jab and his up tilt, it applies Foxx's debuff. And this move also, if you hit with the, you don't have to hit with the first hit. I'm trying to hit with the second hit, but if you hit with any part of it, it will pull into the third hit. So it's very good for Foxx. What else can I say about this forward strong? If you're looking for kills, you can easily like bait opponents out, because you can do things like back air, jump back air into forward strong, or you can do things like back air, dash away, forward strong. You can do things like down tilt, dash away, forward strong. Basically things like that. And standing here and throwing out forward strong is very good, because it covers a lot of space. As you can see, you don't have to be super close in order to hit it. But if you do hit it, you get that launch and you do a lot of damage, and you apply that debuff. So that'll do it for Foxx's grounded moves. Let's talk about Foxx's specials. Now, when I was talking about Foxx's A moves, I was talking about the debuff. As you can see, the red pills on Sophia. Now, any move that Foxx hits an opponent with the scalpel, kind of like up tilt, the first hit of forward air, as you can see, down air, forward strong, and jab, applies that debuff. What this debuff does, cannot forget about dash attack either, as you can see right there. What this debuff does is, if Foxx hits an opponent with a special move after this debuff, it sets off an explosion. So, like this. And you see that explosion. And basically what that explosion does is add like some extra hit stun, so you can combo into it. So kind of like do things like, I didn't get my cancel. Like that. That's how dash attack 2 up air becomes like true, when they have the debuff on them and you hit the explosion. It's it's like a really cool mechanic, but the hard part about this is Foxx's specials aren't the best for him to take advantage of this debuff. As you can see right there, basically like the extra explosion. So you can do things like apply the debuff, land a neutral B, and get like drag down combos, kind of like that. It's a very good mechanic. Just Foxx it's really hard for Foxx to take advantage of this mechanic, because the debuff doesn't last really long, especially with your opponent moving around. But if you can hit your opponent when they have that debuff on them with the special, also considering like Foxx's specials aren't the best, you will get that extra explosion, so you can get those like extra guaranteed like follow-ups. Very good for Foxx to have, but not something he can like fully take advantage of or abuse, because his specials are like so pinpoint, they're so long, you don't really use a lot of his specials like freely, as you can see. So let's hop right into his specials. Now that I've explained the debuff, his neutral special, Foxx throws the scalpel out. And as you can see, if I tap B, he throws it and explodes it. Basically, it's a mid-range projectile by default. By default, this is about as far as it goes. You can hold it and then release it to explode it where you want. There's kind of like a delay after you release it. So learning how to use this projectile is something you want to learn how to do when you are a Foxx main. He does have a colorful sticker that lets him control like the angle he throws it. But being able to throw this out and release it when you want to is very good. You won't be spamming this a lot in neutral. You'll mainly be using this when your opponent is off the stage, like you knock your opponent off the stage and then go for a neutral B to see if you can knock them upwards. But that basically just about do it for neutral B. Not something you'll be spamming a lot. Not something you'll be trying to use to win a projectile war. Maybe just something you'll be using like to cover a little bit of space while you like try to work your way in. So that'll do it for neutral B. Let's talk about Foxx's side B. So Foxx's side B is basically a dash into a slash with the scalpel. Nothing too crazy. The thing about this is, just like all his other specials, it sets off the debuff. Also, the thing about side B is if you hit dash attack and hold jump, you can combo into the side B, as you can see right there. Side B is also a very, very good recovery move, along with the fact that his regular recovery is already broken. So you can also use side B as a recovery move. You can also use it as a neutral breaker move, because if you short hop in side B, you can jump afterwards, kind of like that. And being able to jump afterwards is what gives you that combo of basically hitting side B after dash attack. Just kind of remember that dash attack stops comboing at like those mid percentages. So if you're like stuck on the edge of the stage and you're like trying to get off, you can actually just neutral stand jump side B and double jump, because your opponents have to be afraid of your aerials, because Foxx's aerials are relatively good. You can even like jump from the ledge and side B instantly, kind of like that. And if you're using it as a recovery move, you can use it to get you closer to the stage. So that'll do it for Foxx's side B. And also, Foxx does have a sticker that angles the side B, but this is a beginner guide, so I'm assuming that if you're looking at the beginner guide, that you may not have the sticker for the angled side B. So that's side B. Let's talk about Foxx's down B. Foxx's down B is actually a counter, as you can see, and is actually a very fast counter. As you can see, I'm able to kind of like spam this counter. It's a very fast counter, very quick counter, because like I say, a lot of Foxx's moves don't have a lot of in lag. Another thing about this counter is that you see me use counter on Sophia a lot, and usually when I counter Sophia, I have to jump down and counter Sophia, because her up special, if you counter it on the ledge, you won't hit her. Well, the thing about Foxx's counter is when opponents get hit by it, it freezes them, pulls them up into the hitbox so that they can get hit by it. That's the one thing about Foxx's counter that's kind of like different from everyone else's, is it pulls up into the counter hitbox so that you can get like the full extent of the counter. It's very, very good, because you don't necessarily have to go off stage or pressure Sophia. You just kind of stand on the edge of the stage, and it doesn't matter whether she recovers close or whether she recovers from far away. You could just throw out the counter, and if she recovers into it, she'll hit the counter, it'll pull her into the hitbox, and she'll get hit. Very, very good counter. And if it works on Sophia, it also works on characters like Thanatos, works on Saeya also, because Saeya's counter goes above the ledge. Anybody's counter who has a hitbox that kind of like goes above the ledge, it works on them, so you can just kind of stand at the ledge and counter. You can also go off stage and counter. That's if you want to. But Foxx's counter is very, very good. And like I said before, this counter also, since it's a special move, activates his debuff, as you can see right there. So just like the rest of his special moves, it activates his debuff, and it's a counter that's like a lot better than the other characters, because this counter actually pulls opponents up into the counter hitbox. So that'll do it for his counter. It's a lot easier to talk about counters. Just kind of like press down B and get hit. That'll do it for his counter. Let's talk about Foxx's up special. Foxx's up special, he throws a wire upwards. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy on stage, but off stage, this recovery is the best recovery in the game. Crazy, crazy recovery, hard to edge guard, comes back from the bottom of the death box. Like, this recovery is absolutely crazy. As long as Foxx is like still on the screen when he like tries to recover, he will most likely make it to the ledge and recover. Very, very crazy. As you can see, like I'm down like in the bottom corner and able to recover. And just like any other tether, like in Smash Bros, you can up B, press down and let go of the ledge to like kind of mix up your recovery. As you can see right there. So you can tether, press down, and like float past the ledge. Kind of like this. Like that. So it allows you to like recover, save your jump, and like kind of use your jump right at the ledge to jump. Since this recovery goes from so low, it's really hard to like edge guard Foxx because you don't know if he's going to recover from far away or if he's going to recover from up close. The reason being is he can do things like tether from far away, let go, and then get up close. And then his recovery combined with side B allows him to get even closer to the ledge, or allows him to side B, jump back, and then recover for an angle, kind of like that. Foxx has a lot of ways to mix up his recovery, and it's ridiculously good. Like I say, that's why I think it's like the best recovery in the game, because like as long as you're still on like the screen and you press like up special, Foxx is most likely going to recover. Absolutely crazy tether grab to have. So we talked about down, up. I also don't want to forget his up special actually has a hitbox. As you can see right there. Nothing too crazy, and his up special is actually the only special that does not activate his debuff. He does have a sticker that kind of like turns his up special into like a byleth up special, to where if you hit opponents with the tip, he'll fly forward and like kick them away. But if you don't have that colorful sticker, you won't really be using this debuff to hit opponents with. You'll just mainly be using it to recover and mix up your recovery. So that'll do it for all of his specials. Let's go into the best thing about Foxx, his aerials. So Foxx's aerials, particularly back air, up air, and neutral air, are all crazy good. Down air is pretty good too. So let's hop right into it. So Foxx's neutral air, he takes the ghost hand and swings it around his entire body. A very good hitbox. You can throw it out up top and follow opponents with it, as you can see right there. Another thing about this neutral air is it actually combos. So flashparty has this thing where like if you hit opponents with certain moves, since air dodge isn't fast enough, they can't really get out of those moves. So you'll be able to go for other things like neutral air into up air, as long as you can still hit the up air with Foxx. His neutral air is very, very good. Like at lower percentages, you could do things like neutral air into neutral air. Even out of down tilt, you could do things like down tilt, neutral air, up air for like extensions like that. At like mid percentages, you could do things like neutral air into like forward air 1. You could do things like neutral air into up air drag down. You could do things like neutral air into back air. The thing about the neutral air is it always launches in front of Foxx, kind of like that. Like Foxx's neutral air is very, very good at those mid percentages, and it covers around you a lot. So very, very good if you're like in those scramble situations to kind of just like throw it out, just like throw out neutral air if you're not sure where your opponent's going to be, because this is probably the freest aerial that you have to throw out that doesn't present like depend on a specific position for you to throw out. Just kind of like if your opponent is like up under you, just land with neutral air and go from there. Very, very good for Foxx to have. So we talked about neutral air. Let's talk about down air. As you can see right there, Foxx's down air is actually really crazy. It's a double swipe down, hits really hard. As you can see right there, does 12. Has a very, very big hitbox. I missed my down air. But has a very, very big hitbox. Hits really, really hard. As you can see right there. And I've shown off Foxx's recovery. So him having a crazy recovery like that, along with a crazy down air like this, is very good. Because you can just kind of like put yourself in positions to like jump off and go for down air and hit opponents. Another thing about this down air is it has crazy hit stun. So you can like, at lower percentages, you can get combos out of down air by just going down air and then like double jump into like up air and things like that. Foxx's down air is absolutely wild. Another thing about this move is since it has such long startup, your opponent has to be ready to parry this move if they want to punish this move. because you can just land on opponents, hit them with down air, and go for a follow-up, or if they block it and don't parry it, you can do things like down air, run away, and down tilt. Another thing about this move is that it does not always spike. It does have a sour spot, as you can see right there. And the sour spot knocks away from Foxx. The down air, the sweet spot knocks straight down. The sour spot knocks away. So that'll do it for Foxx's down air. Let's talk about Foxx's back air, which is probably his best aerial. Back air is absolutely crazy. Back air does 12, it's hard, you can spam it. It's safe on shield, like your opponents has to be ready to parry this in order to punish it. You can short hop it and keep moving. So you can do things like short hop back air to turn around down tilt, which is really crazy. You can do things like neutral air into back air. I didn't get my dash forward, but neutral air into back air, kind of like that. Even at lower percentages, you can do things like grab into turn around back air, like that. This back air is absolutely crazy. It lingers, it holds, a very, very wild move for Foxx to have, and a very, very good kill move. It sucks because it'll probably be one of the moves you'll be getting most of your kills with, which is back air and forward strong. And that's why I said like back air combined with forward strong is really good, because you can just back air, lock your opponent down, make them not want to jump because you're throwing out the back airs, and then force them into approach on the ground with forward strong. This back air is really, really crazy. Hits really hard. And you could just kind of go off with it once you hit it. Back air is absolutely nuts. Very scary for opponents, because like once you start throwing this out, they're like, oh my god, Foxx is throwing out back air. And then that opens up things for like landing grab, or like back air into forward strong. Like I said before. Like I said, back air's really good. Probably Foxx's best aerial. Probably Foxx's best move. His back air is absolutely nuts. So let's go to Foxx's up air. So Foxx's up air is a multitude of punches with the ghost hand. As you can see, it doesn't have too much ending lag, but the thing about this move is that it covers right above Foxx. Does not cover the side of Foxx. Does not cover the back of Foxx. But the hitbox above Foxx is very, very active. You can also fall into opponents with it, kind of like that. Kind of like force them to make a move immediately. And this move actually hits really, really hard. As you can see right there. One of Foxx's, another kill move for Foxx to have, does 11% on hit. I want to say like at 120, it just kind of like outright kills from like mid-screen if you like read a jump with it. And it's so active that it's very easy to read a jump with it, because if you feel like your opponent's going to jump, you jump at them and you up air, and if you catch it, you get the kill. And it's a very good combo ender. At lower percentages, it juggles into itself. Very, very good for Foxx to have. Very, very long. It's kind of like very reminiscent to Saeya's up air. You just kind of like jump at opponents and up air and then fade back, and they have to like fall down and like air dodge the up air or try not to get hit by it, because this up air is very, very hard to get through. Foxx's up air is very, very crazy. So we've talked about up air, down air, back air. Let's talk about forward air. So Foxx's forward air has a lot of things going on with it. One, it's a two-hitting move. So 1, 2. Another thing is it has very long startup time, as you can see. Like, the wait for that first swing is crazy, as you can see right there. It also lingers. So you see me throwing it out above Sophia and falling on Sophia with it. It definitely lingers. So you don't have to be spot on with this forward air, because the hitbox is fairly active. Being able to space with this forward is a very good thing. And the reason why is because just like his up tilt, this forward air has a sweet spot. So here's the unsweet spot. As you can see right there, just kind of knocks Sophia up. Doesn't have too much hit stun, so you can't do crazy things like forward air 1 into like down tilt or anything like that, because the hit stun on it isn't too crazy. The best part about the first hit of forward air is when it's match spaced. Oh my gosh. right there. As you can see, it kind of has the electric effect that his sweet spot up tilt has right there. Forward air hits really hard when you get the sweet spot. Like hitting somebody with this sweet spot, as you can see, like right there, it killed Sophia at 100. Hitting opponents with the sweet spot is very good because the sweet spot also has more hit stun on shield. So that makes it harder for opponents to punish when you do hit the sweet spot. Just a very, very good thing for Foxx to have. And like I say, forward air 1 pops up, doesn't true combo, but it does pop up. Now, I did say it was 2 hits, so let's talk about the second hit. The second hit is a kick from Foxx, and that kick is a spike. That spike knocks at an angle. As you can see right there, it spikes Sophia at an angle, so it doesn't spike straight down. And the only way to get this out on stage, you have to double jump. Like, you can't full hop and do this. Well, you might be able to. It looked like the second hit came out. You can definitely full hop and do it. Okay, so you can full hop and do this. Another thing about this move is that you can fade back with it, but the kick launches him forward. So as you can see, I'm fading back with the forward air, but the kick pushes him forward. Very good, because if you hit opponents with it on stage and your opponent isn't ready for it, you can kind of get some really good follow-ups. As you can see right there, just a very, very good move to have. And then the angle at which it knocks is very good, because if you hit opponents with it off stage, they're forced to recover like that. And if they have to recover through you, you can just double jump it down here. Because like we said, Foxx's recovery is absolutely broken. And that'll just about do it for forward air. If you're trying to get the kill, remember you want to space with forward air 1. You don't have to fast fall or like do it as fast as this. It's just a lot easier because it covers a lot. It kind of like forces your opponent, because this covers jump and run in, the short hop forward air. But you could full hop and space it that way if it's a lot easier. As you can see, you just basically want to space it, and you'll basically be going for the second one if you're on stage and you're looking for those setups, kind of like doing things like this. As I dash through Sophia. As I didn't dash at all. Things like that. Because it's not true, but if your opponent isn't ready to tech the forward air, you get really good follow-ups off of hitting forward air too. So that'll do it for all of Foxx's aerials. Let's talk about Foxx's grab. Now, Foxx's grab is actually really, really good. It's got some fairly good range because he grabs with the ghost hand, and he's also got a very, very good dash grab. As you can see, he like lunges really far. This dash grab is really, really wild. And the angle at which forward throw knocks up is very good for comboing at lower percentages. So good at comboing at lower percentages that you can do things like, just want to get rid of Sophia. You can do things like grab, down throw into down air. You can do things like grab, forward throw into up tilt. You could do things like grab, forward throw into up air, forward throw into up air, forward throw into up air, kind of like that, because Foxx does have drag down combos. The drag down on his up air is really, really strong. That's another thing that you'll have to learn, but I was going to talk about that when I talk about his combos. Like, Foxx's grab is very, very good, especially at lower percentages. You can do things like forward throw up tilt. You can do things like forward throw turn around back air. Can't believe I missed that back air. But forward throw back air. Like, his forward throw, I always say down throw because of Smash, but his forward throw is very, very good. So if his forward throw is a combo throw, what about his back throw? Well, his back throw is actually a very reliable kill throw. And as you can see, the angle at which it sent Sophia, it forced her to recover low. But at higher percentages, this move will like kill. So for a character like Foxx to be able to like deal so much damage so fast and hit like really hard, and for him to have a killing back throw, as you can see right there, the angle is really, really crazy. So even at like lighter characters, they probably died 100. Maybe medium weight characters would be like 120 maybe. But him having a killing back throw on top of ways to build damage is just very, very crazy. So that'll do it for his throws. Let's talk about Foxx's neutral. So Foxx's neutral is very, very weird. Like I said, he isn't the best assaulter. He's a very, very weird assaulter when it comes to assaulters. Your neutral, you kind of want to dash forward and like bait out your opponents to do moves by throwing out like back air and covering them with like neutral air, kind of like this, looking for those combos. And you want to get parries into down tilts at lower percentages, because to like get your combos and stuff started. Because Foxx's moves, like I said, they aren't the best. You won't be throwing out a lot of buttons or throwing out a bunch of aerials. As you've seen like throughout this guide, Foxx is kind of like a one aerial person. As you can see, like I'm not going to go, you're not going to be doing like up air, double jump, up air, because up air covers like a specific angle. You're not going to be doing forward air, double jump, forward air, or anything like that. You only get one forward air in the jump. You're not going to be doing like down air, jump, down air, because you only get one down air in the jump. And you're not going to be doing things like neutral air, double jump, neutral air, because you only get one neutral air in the jump. So you'll be aiming to land on opponents with these amazing aerials and take advantage of those situations. So basically, a lot of Foxx's moves, they either combo or they set up for combos. So Foxx is a very strong believe in it character. So if you hit a back hit of neutral air, just believe it and go for the up air. Because even if your opponent air dodges it, you can go full hop up air, like go for the up air follow up, and even if they air dodge it, you can punish the air dodge follow up. Another thing is like, you want to get those kills when your opponent is like at 80. You want to get those kill confirms. You really want to go for those kill confirms or those really cheesy edge guards, because when your opponent's at higher percentages, your main kill move is going to be Foxx's back air. You're going to be throwing out back air a lot once your opponent like makes it past like the 100 like percentile range. You're just going to be throwing out back air a lot and baiting out aerials so you can get grab back throw kills. So that'll basically do it for Foxx's neutral. Let's talk about Foxx's combos. So Foxx is an assaulter. So at lower percentages, you're going to look for things like, you're mainly going to be looking for grab. A lot of your combos are going to come from grab. And you can get drag down combos with grab, as I don't get any of my drag downs. But you can get drag down combos from grab because you really want to focus on getting those drag down combos. They start like around 20%, so you can't do the first forward throw to get the drag down, but you can do like the second forward throw. I keep fast falling. But after the second forward throw, you can get those drag down combos. Around 60, forward throw stops like comboing into the drag downs because it gets like ridiculous launch. That's kind of like one of the nerfs they gave to it. They hit the launch on it. But at those lower percentages, you really do want to focus on those drag down combos. So like one of the things that you can do to like get into the percent range, you can do things like forward throw into up tilt. That puts them at 24. So then you can do things like grab, forward throw, up air, into the drag down combos. I keep fast falling my forward air, and I'm not getting my combo. And it makes me really sad because it's been a while since I've played Foxx. But you can do grab, forward throw into up tilt, or you can even do things like down tilt, as I don't get my cancel. Down tilt into grab to start those fall down combos. If you're not good at getting the fall down, like the drag down combos, you just go for the damage, which you don't lose out on anything for just going for the damage. You really don't with Foxx, because like I said, Foxx has a really good back air, really good forward strong, and a really good kill throw. So a lot, like I said, a lot of his combos will come from like at earlier percentages, his grab, and also his down tilt, doing things like down tilt into grab, into up air combos or up air strings, kind of like that, or hitting like neutral air into neutral air, or hitting things like neutral air into up air. Like landing with falling neutral air is going to be very good, and you just have to remember that once opponents hit 60 to like 80, Foxx kind of like runs out of those combo tools that he normally has. So you're kind of like working on stray hits and belief, and working on really good edge guards, because Foxx's recovery is so good. So that'll basically do it for Foxx, the newest assaulter. Yeah, I believe Foxx was like the last assaulter we got. That'll do it for Foxx, the newest assaulter. Hopefully the guy helps. I know a lot of people struggle to play with Foxx. Even while making this guide, I was struggling to play with Foxx myself after the nerfs. He's a very, very straightforward and very like tedious character to play because he doesn't win neutral as easy as the other characters. He does hit hard and his moves are fairly safe, but he's not the easiest to play. Definitely takes a lot of work if you plan on playing Foxx and if you plan on maining. So that'll do it for the Foxx guide. Hopefully this guy helps out. If you guys have any questions or any problems or any comments or anything like that, let me know down below. And like I say, the guide always helps. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.